Beautiful late November day here at the Oblivion Factory. Getting ready to get to work here. Boris and Piggert have been hard at work in their studio yard. Ready to come out, guys? Come on out. Come on, let's go. This is Piggert. Piggert is our senior pig on staff. And his sidekick, Boris. Boris is a little younger, almost 4. Piggert is breaking the rules. Piggert, back in the yard. Come on, we don't go out in the street. He knows that very well. Given an opportunity, Piggert will certainly push the rules, as will Boris. It's kind of what pigs do. And this is Lucy. Lucy's one of my 2 feral cats that I take care of here at the studio. Hi, Lucy. Her sister is somewhere on the site. And the pigs are going to go down to the end and check for leaves and whatever else pigs like to get into. So we'll let them do their thing and I'll get started on my thing. Today we are in the preliminary stages of working on this kangaroo commission. This is about a 5-foot tall kangaroo that I'm doing for a collector who is in Australia and wanted an iconic Australian animal, so I was pretty excited to tackle a kangaroo. Such a strange creature. That's the pose that I'm going to use. I really like the idea of it in motion and at the end of a leap, catching its weight there. So starting out with the framework of that, using the reference picture to just scale everything up and keep the proportions exactly right, and making sure it's got good, strong understructure to hold the weight of all the found objects that will eventually be on there. This type of welding is using a MIG welder, which is an arc process that feeds wire in as it melts the 2 pieces of metal that are being joined. One of the other primary tools in doing this kind of sculpture is being able to cut pieces to the shapes that I need, both stock steel and sometimes modifying the found objects. Right here I'm working on a part of a horse bridle that is going to be the front of the kangaroo's leg. It has a really nice curve that will highlight the anatomy and the musculature of that part of the leg. But it had these sort of ring things on for the horse bridle, so they needed to be cut off before I could weld it on there. Now that I've got the horse bridle pieces free of any extra parts that I don't need, I can weld them on to the front of the thigh muscle of the kangaroo. And since the structure is strong with all the stock steel that I cut and built the understructure, the decorative pieces that you'll actually see on the outside that describe the anatomy, those don't have to be welded on that strongly, just enough to attach it, but they're not really going to be any weight bearing of any kind, so they can just get tacked in a few places and left to show as they are. In working with found objects like this, I love to think about the previous functional life of the piece. This is a horse bridle and traveled probably many miles as part of somebody riding and taming a horse. And it's just interesting to think about it being repurposed to be a part of a different animal, have a completely separate function and existence than what it was originally made to do. And that's one of the things I really like to think about when I'm using found objects like this. It's especially cool to me when the object can somehow reference the function of the part of the animal or the muscle or the engineered part of the anatomy that I'm using. The other part of the leg that I'm attaching right there is a universal joint from our car engine, and so it's got this real nice sort of twist joint that I'm using as the knee part of the kangaroo and attaching there at the foot. And just the function again of an engine part being part of this animal's powerful, fast-moving leg joint is a nice circularity of meaning and materials, and that's one of the things that I look for in doing work like this. You got to get into some odd positions to get these things welded on all the different sides, and so it'll involve getting down on the floor and just doing whatever you need to do to get the welds in all the different surfaces and making sure that they're really strongly attached. And this usually works just fine. Occasionally a spark will land on my pants and get them smoldering, and it'll take a minute to hop up and put the fire on my pant leg out, but that doesn't happen too often. And it looks like the pants aren't on fire, no danger of that, so I'm ready to move to the next anatomical element. And for the legs and really showing the power, I have motorcycle shock absorbers. This is a part that really shows the musculature and the potential for springing with a literal spring. So I'll make sure that those are nice and visible in the final look of the kangaroo. And they're pretty simple to attach. It's just putting a tack weld on the top and the bottom, and again attaching it to that understructure of steel that's really bearing the weight of that particular spot. It just needs to be tacked in a few spots to stay into place. But I love the look of a spring and a motorcycle shock absorber in the part of the kangaroo that is absorbing the shock and releasing all the potential energy that it has as it's landing from a jump and gearing up for its next jump. And again, thinking about the origins of this particular piece, this is something that was on a motorcycle and traveled very fast for its functional life, absorbing the bumps of a motorcycle riding down the road and probably going fast, and probably somebody having a lot of fun on the bike, and just thinking about that now translating to this animal that moves quickly, that it went fast in its functional life, and then I've removed it from that context, and now it's holding still so that it looks like an animal going fast again. I love that kind of irony in the work. Now with those powerful spring leg muscles attached, it's time to move to some other parts of the anatomy. At the top of the thigh, the sort of hip of the kangaroo, a circular shape. And so part of this process is just holding things up and seeing what looks right and where it might need to be cut and adjusted in order to fit in, and playing with different options that I have available. It's really important to have a really wide variety of different found objects to work with and choose from as I move forward. Time to take a break and find out. What did you guys find? They eat a lot of the down leaves. Pigs are caloric opportunists, and so they're going to eat just about anything that they deem tasty, and the old pigs are fitting that bill right now, aren't they? Yeah. You're doing yard cleanup. What a good pig you are. What do you got for us? You got a dirty snout is what you got. Happy pigs wagging tails. And plenty of leaves to keep them busy. Are you just trapping him to be dominant? Huh? Showing him who the alpha pig is? You can come out of there. I guess not. Thanks for checking out this first installment of the Oblivion Factory Diaries. If you want to see more, click the subscribe button and follow us on this YouTube channel. Until next time, bye.